Just really short little video. I don't even know why. Well, actually, no, I know why I'm doing this, but most of you probably don't need to watch this video. It's just a bit about Tomorrow's Strike. It's mainly for newer players who don't really know a lot about some, technical moves or some strategies for strike events that they aren't aware of. So if you are one of those who know how to beat Tomorrow's Strike event, it should be quite easy. And if you don't, then stick around. It's not as hard as it seems. So tomorrow we have a one-step epic strike event, and that gives a free epic incubator. It's a normal incubator. It's not a themed one. It's just whatever epic or rare or common DNA that is in the incubator pool. You could get any of those, also coins as well, which is nice. So we're gonna fight an epic Brachiosaurus at level 30. So that on paper looks really hard, but in practice it's not hard at all because there is a way to cheese it. That's quite simple. So I'm just gonna scare you guys first, tell you what the stats are on this Brachiosaurus. At level 30 has 6,928 HP. That's a lot of HP. That is a lot of HP. That is probably like what, the second highest or the highest? Let me check the Dino Dex real fast. I think Apato's still the highest. Yeah, Apato's still the highest. Oh, it's actually third highest. Diplodocus is actually a bit higher, slightly. So, yeah, it's really high. So, if you're gonna approach this normally with your, Aeneasuchus, Stegoceratops, even Indominus Rex, probably isn't gonna do too much. It's gonna do a decent amount, I guess, but yeah, it's not gonna help too much. And also has 1,276 damage, base damage, with Superiority Strike, Bellow, and Rampage. Rampage does 2 times damage, Superiority Strike 1 times damage, slow for 1 turn, cleanse distraction, and Bellow is a priority move that throws out a shield for 1 turn, reduces target speed for 50% for 2 turns. So, due to the Superiority Strike changes, Brachie is actually really, really easy to beat, and mainly because of the bleed changes. So, for those of you who don't know, this is what bleed does in the game. It's quite the strike event killer, so usually for a lot of strike events you could just throw out a bleed dino and roll them. Of course there are exceptions, like the Caprasuchus event. It has cleansing, so we probably don't want to bleed that thing, or at least you have to really time the bleed. And sometimes there are events that it's just not worth using bleed. It's faster and more reliable using some other methods. But for the Brachie event, the most reliable method is using bleed. And there are quite a few bleeding moves. So you got Lethal Wound. That's the strongest bleed move. That's damage over time, 0.33 of target's max HP per turn for 3 turns. So each turn it's going to do 33% of Brachie's HP, and after 3 turns, it's going to do 99%, which you still need 1% to knock off there, which the Lethal Wound already does 1 times damage, so nothing to worry there. As long as you have a Lethal Wound dino, Brachie should be dead. Like, it's nearly impossible for it to stay alive. So dinos with Lethal Wound, we have the Epic Dimodactylus, we got, what else? Spinosuchus, we have Spinogen 2, Sucutator, that's another one. And those aren't really hard to obtain. I mean, Spinosuchus is a bit hard to obtain. The other ones aren't too hard. And if you really don't have a Lethal Wound dino, a Gashing Wound dino might do as well. Gashing Wound is 0.3 of target's max HP for 2 turns, so that's 60% on 2 turns. But then you also could pair that with Swapping Wound, so you could Gashing Wound on turn 1 and then swap on turn 2, swap in a Swapping Wound dino with, for example, Suchomimus or Dimorphodon does 25% of target's max HP for 2 turns. So that's another 50% on top of the Gashing Wound. And then, you just stall until Brachie dies. So it's really not that hard if you're new and you don't know about the bleed mechanics. It could have been difficult if you approach it with your normal team, but if you use bleed, it's really simple. It's a free incubator, free DNA, free epic DNA actually also, and free coins. So it's not difficult. But anyways, that was a quick guide, I guess, on tomorrow's strike event. Just so I could put this out there for those of you who don't know about bleed, the bleed mechanics, and if I don't wake up early enough and you guys already did it and you didn't use bleed and then you get crushed because Brachie, if you want to do it the normal way, I mean, you could still do it in the normal way, but that thing's going to deal a lot of damage. Like, rotating between Superiority Strike and Rampage with a 30% critical chance, that's going to do a lot of damage to you. So, yeah, it's better. It's safer to use bleed. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's safer to actually use bleed. Which, yeah, it's safer to use like weaker dinos than your strongest team. So there's that. Good luck with that. You know what? I'm not even gonna say good luck. You don't need luck. You don't need luck. You don't even need luck in this one. But you do need luck for your incubator. So hopefully you got some decent epic or rare or common DNA from that. So that's gonna be fun. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Again, just a really quick guide if you guys don't know about bleed, if you're new. So there's that. And hopefully we'll get good stuff in tomorrow's incubator.